Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. Well, in today's episode, you could call this another lesson in insanity. I have Columbia University, or what I like to call the Columbia Center for Left-Wing Indoctrination. That's what it should be called. So we're seeing in Columbia School of Left-Wing Indoctrination among dozens and dozens of Ivy League and state-run schools, private schools, what have you, all across the U.S. And again, I really dislike calling them schools because, again, they are indoctrination centers. Indoctrination centers, not centers of learning. Not centers of rational and reasonable thought, but centers of indoctrination. If you look at these crowds of chanting youths, screaming "Free Palestine, free Palestine," from the river to the sea, you will also see other far left-wing extremist organizations in these crowds. They're one of the same. You will see the Theocratic environmental movement. Yes, it is a theocracy. It is a faith-based religion. Climate change. You will see the Homo Transvestite Nationalism organizations. And that's really an odd one. Homo Transvestite Nationalism merging with radical Islam. You see these purple-haired, heavy-set lesbians, homosexuals, transvestites screaming about freeing Palestine and what Yemen is doing or the Houthis are doing in terms of trying to shut down the Red Sea is perfectly okay. If you were to transplant those individuals into Yemen, they would be throwing them off buildings or burning them alive. And yet you see this very oddball merging of Islam and this transvestite homo nationalism. And then finally, the AntiColonialism crowd that for some reason believe that the Arabs that are living in the West Bank or the Gaza Strip are indigenous people. Right. Insanity. Absolute insanity. And then you have, which is even more funny if it wasn't funny, is these left-wing Jewish students who are now being turned on. Again, oppressed versus the oppressor. One day you're the oppressed, the next day, yep, you guessed it, you're an oppressor. And you're going to be eaten by the masses. And that's what's happening. Just a few months ago, these same Jewish students who are now being kicked out of schools or the indoctrination centers and are being told to leave, we don't want you here anymore. These folks were out there protesting about theocratic climate change, the Homo Transvestite Nationalism, and yeah, to some extent, AntiColonialism, until they became the colonizer. They always do this. You can count on the left to be irrational, unreasonable, and batshit crazy. Have a good day.